know I kind of ad-lib there, so it's a little, not ad-lib, but improvised, so it's not exact, but you get the basic idea. Great. Great comment. Let me try that again. For example, this here is very tasty. Dude, holy crap. You don't know how to read, do you? Okay. For example, this here.
What's the imaginal? And the imaginary, the imaginary, the imaginal, and the imaginal. Serious play. So in this imaginal sense, I'm going to be asking you to imagine. This is the imaginal part. Serious play. Imagine. It's not as a picture. I want you to become as much as you can like Socrates. The self is a model of the environment. It is a way of orienting to the environment. So you find your way in it in a way that develops who and what you are. We're going to try and capture what it's like to be Socrates. They'll come along and they lose the trail. And the person who's running and doing the gesturing will drop into enacting the animal, trying to take on the perspective of the animal, the way that the animal, what the animal cares about, what the animal finds significant, trying to take on the identity of the animal, and then create this, right, sense of, from that, that is the way the animal went. A child picks up a stick, ties a blanket around their neck, and says, I'm Zorro. They're trying to take on the perspective and the identity of Zorro so that they can taste what it's like to be Zorro. What would Zorro do? How would I do this? And that's, of course, how children primarily develop, how they go through this self-transcendence. They do that serious play. So when I'm teaching people Tai Chi Chuan, I tell them to stand and imagine from their knees down as sinking in the mud of a river. This area is flowing like water. You want this area of you to feel like water flowing. And this is like the air. We want this to feel as airy as possible. And when people do this, what's happening is they're using this imagination in the imaginal sense to enhance their perception of the world. They're doing imaginally augmented perception. So in this imaginal sense, I'm going to be asking you to imagine Socrates. What's the imaginal? And the imaginary, and the imaginal, and the imaginal. Serious play. So in this imaginal sense,
Greetings, and welcome to the Prime Material Plane. I see you've selected the economy package, and as such I, General Griswold Gaius-Grim, will be your humbled guide to your humanesque, corporeal experience. The vehicle for your experience as a human is a biochemical engineering marvel and will tinge your experience with increasing urgency as maintenance becomes required. It will tinge your experience. I know you don't know what it's like to have a human experience, but as you do, you will get this thing called a sense of urgency, and that it relates to a demand of the vehicle that you must meet or deal with increased urgency. Material life resists entropy by constantly consuming itself. And as part of the circle of life, you may be required to consume other entities. This is natural. This is good. Atop the physical and survival and internal sensate levels of survival are the social relational all right. First guys, there's a survival layer. Okay? This is the biochemical shit, all right? If the vehicle isn't gonna, it'll crap out if you don't maintain the survival of the vehicle. On top of that, there is a social layer. It's a lot of the ways you end up getting your survival needs met is by interfacing through the social layer. Now, you get it because it feels so good to be a human. If you do an interaction on the social layer that gets a physical need met like really well, the vehicle readies itself and programs itself for more of that automatically. And that attachment is sometimes experienced as what is called love. Love is where, this is a hard one. Love is where, okay, so we have these bodies here, and they are us. We are so attached to their function, what they do, what we say. It's very attached, you see. They're us, part of us. When you love something, it's part of you. You make it part of you. And like, it might not be, it's obviously not also physically part of you, but like, you are also made of this the social layer self. And those are the relationships you've constructed with the other entities. And those become part of yourself. And your favorite ones you say you love. And if they get ripped away, it really, really hurts, because all of the wiring that has gone into that connection, it has to be destroyed and repurposed, and that is experienced as like the opposite of a sense of urgency. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's great here. Oh, love it. You love it. See, you'll become attached to it. You'll think of it as part of yourself. You'll love it. You'll love it. And when you learn to do that without hurting anybody, they call that the wisdom. Okay, so there's your what did they call it? Your human-esque corporeal experience. And also Grifters' submission to the Alien Salience Project, where we explain what it's like to be a human to alien life forms to better understand it for each other. And now, please enjoy some more of Petcow's new song while I catch up on what you've been saying in the chat.
It's their perception of the world. Let me ask you to imagine. This is the imaginal part, the imaginary, like some imagines, and the imaginal, serious play, in a way that develops who and what you are. I'm Zorro. I'm going to try and to imagine, enacting, capture serious play. I'm Zorro. To imagine. This area is flowing like water. And this is like the air. That's serious play.
I'm Griswold Grimm, and I survive on coffee as well. The link is in the top of the chat.
What would Zorro do? How would I do this? And that's, of course, how children primarily develop, like Socrates. I'm Zorro. This is the imaginal part. I want you to become, as much as you can, who and what you are.
What to click on? I say Chris Petka all the time. That's what he looks like. This is him doing a song. That last thing was him clipping stuff together.
Yo.
Yo.
Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. Study out the game and find a way to break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you, cause you're special. You're the exception to the rule. Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. Study out the game and find a way to
How is it so fortuitous that, like, after I feature his newest release, I click on the song he wrote about me?
break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you, cause you're special. You're the exception to the rule. I ain't average, I'm a savage. Ain't listen to no one, they don't got the answers. Other people fail simply cause they ain't me. They can't be me, so they gonna have to hate me. And everybody falls, but not this one, dog. I'ma keep it calm cause I'm too headstrong. I'ma make $1 billion and you'll have nothing to
Okay.
say to me. You cannot contain the beast.
I need to go. Hey, Rico!
And I ain't ever
Wow.
gonna die. If I wanna fly into the metaverse, I'll be an angel in the sky. Fuck your limitations.
Hey, sir! Sir, I'm the only one that gets to swear on this show. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Ah! Here, let's do the theme music while I ready the savings throws. That are really just explained by the Aliens Project very nicely, don't you think? Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose! If it's over 10, you take half damage from the following mind control. You get bonuses. There's rules you can play. Survivalists. Nat 1. Not a good one for you. Socialists. That's a 10. Wisdom folks. Lovers of wisdom. Sophia, my friend. 2. Hard folks, a 9. A +1 bonus that gets you over the top. And if you talk in chat, that's +2. In a live stream, you chat in a live stream, +2. So, if you need it, take it. If you need it, take it. Oh, all right, here's some more.
Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. Study out the game and find a way to break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you, cause you're special. You're the exception of the rule. Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. Study out the game and find a way to break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you, cause you're special. You're the exception to the rule.
And it's a unique and wonderful place and position to be. However, I nearly got the host body in so much trouble yesterday. So much. Oh, I can't wait. I hope to tell you the story. I hope that comes out in this stream. It's a fancy one. And since there's a minute or so left of this, and almost 2, and Metagester just said, my boy Chris, hey, lunch. Obviously. I want to say thank you to everybody. I just put your name on the screen. Metachester, Freedom Lunch, Upcycle Club, Chris, Gander, Joseph, Jess, Rakau, Alphabet, Nakama. You guys should watch that episode. Joseph, again, Chad. Joseph, you get twice. Congratulations. Oh, hello. I see the assassins have failed. And I don't know if it was on them. I don't know that if what happened yesterday wasn't divine protection in the form of a slap or what was going on. It's fascinating. But the stream Grim made here is actually called not this. It's not Trolling After Socrates. That's a great stream you should watch. It's 3 hours long, but we go through the first After Socrates thing. The stream is called Beggars, Buskers, Grifters, and Shills. I'll get the Grifters part was the trigger because you see, there's this big fancy guy who had been on Lex Friedman. His name is John Verveke, and he talked to me. And like after he talked to me, he goes on past to Paul, and I'm gonna bring it up and find him, I'm sure. And it says Grifter twice, and so I'm like, oh, dude, and I was triggered. And then he said something really cool. I'll find too. But so here we are at this stream, and the other preceding event to me starting because this is a scheduled stream. I tried to do it this week and then life and so pushed back and here we are. But what happened is I made a withdrawal from the trust fund, which is at risk of being broken now, and and they're like, I live in a small town in Oklahoma, so when we do get a beggar, they show up at the Walmart, and we usually don't, but we had one, and I'm driving by, and I decided I'm not going to give him any money, no, and because I didn't like his sign, he just anything helps, what kind of sign is that? And then so I of course go off on my head about how, man, I wish I could write these signs for these people. And like that particular morning, I thought to myself, I would just got alms, because it's pretty, like, people go to the Bible around here. I mean, the churches around. Anyway, and then I go to the across the street Brahms restaurant where they sell horrible foods, and I get myself a burger and a shake. And the change from the burger and the shake comes in the form of two $2 bills. And so after I leave the Brahms, I go to the beggar guy and I say, hey, man, check it out, and give him the $2 bill, just one. And then I go buy a lotto ticket because they cost $2 now with the other $2 bill. Spoiler alert, it was a loser. Oh, so beggars were on my mind, and then grifters from the Paul trigger, and so this stream, beggars, buskers, grifters, and shills. Welcome.
Stand back and behold an ego bigger than Saturn, Mars, or Pluto. I ain't the bad guy, I'm the hero. Each can be a 10, not 1 is 0. Each one of us is Emperor Nero. Don't have to do your chores, AI will do that shit. Meanwhile, we'll be relaxing, drinking champagne and laughing. Brick by brick, we'll make a beautiful attraction. Reaching into heaven, a glorious tower of Babel. Cause God is dead, and so are we. We must escape if we want to be truly free and truly see democracy. Manifest our destiny, so everybody come and follow me. We're the gods now, no one tells us what to do. You don't really believe this shit, do you? Eventually the chickens always come back to roost. Not everyone is always the exception to the rule. Everybody chillin', nobody working, everyone a king, nobody a servant, each one a ringleader of their own clown circus, each one pursuing their own personal purpose, creating metaverse inside of metaverses, blocking and deleting anyone who makes us nervous, suppressing and controlling any form of controversy, till we see we're not kings, we're just not worthy. Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. You study out the game, you find a way to break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you. Why? Because you're special? Arrogance predictable, we know what you gon' do. Study out the game and find a way to break the rules, cause bad things happen to people, except for you, cause you're special. You're not special.
What? Whoa, I never heard that part before. What the, Chris? What the hell? I'm not, dude. Oh, okay, so this was this question came up. Round my way, buskers are on the top of the pile music positions. Round my way, buskers are top of the mile positions. Why they be on the list? Well, you see, it's like if you get off of the mass transit, you might see a beggar, you might see a bugger, a busker. But that word is like really hard for me to remember. It's like people who are after your dollars that you might encounter here on the internet. Actually, is the point. But I have a starred one. I just bought the domain deconstructingwoke.com. What should I do with it? Well, you should bring it to General Griswold, Gaius Grims, and his Discord minions, because I know you don't Discord. And I will ask them the question and get back with you. How's that? How's that? Stumps. Is Pet Cow supposed to be a busker? I don't know. I don't even think he has a link. I don't think he has a link under his stuff to where you can buy things for him. I know there was a project that was going to be under there that's not now because somebody got knocked up or something. But, Brand. Remember, Embody. There is no agency. We want what's best for you. He busks for views and likes. Yeah, see, here on YouTube, what happens is we hustle for your attention, and if we get enough, then they start cutting us in like 15% or something on all the commercials they sell you while you're here. And if you're one of the best people who pay the $8 ransom not to get commercials, did I say ransom? Anyway, if you pay not to get commercials, and you come and watch our stuff, I think we get like 40% or something nice. Yes, it was very intimidating for a moment, but now it's dropped down to 19 and I feel safe again. You should. Okay, so Grifters. Now, Shills, on the other hand, are as defined by me and then for purposes of the Broken Clock Tower Discord minions and whatnot, show the thing. Where's the thing? That's the tavern. This is the tavern. Where you go chat in the general chat? That's what it looks like. Here, the Broken Clock Tower Discord. For the purposes of that, a shill is somebody who does it with an objective, where the objective is more important than whatever agreement they're LARPing. Like, they'll LARP alongside you in agreement, but they're really there to shill you something. They're pushing one way or another. It's an objective-based thing. They're there with an objective. Now, I'll pose the question. Apparently Federecci can do YouTube polls in his chat. What is TPB? Why would you say confusing? Oh, the Trailer Park Boys. The Trailer Park Boys. Buttons is... Buttons? Was it Buttons? The hell was that guy's name? He was such a self-reflect. Here's a mirror for you, pal. Oh, what? Well, I got there's mod stuff going on and they're doing a good job. Well, that's cute. I generally associate with ramblers and wild gamblers, but that's all in the past. All right, everybody. Speaking of bubbles, welcome to feeling virtually not alone. This is what it's like. It's almost like you're not alone, but really you're not virtually you're not alone. Welcome. Bubbles. That's why. Yes, the reality mirror. Oh, the real mirror. Here's one for Bubbles, everybody. And in the event we have any Scott Adams porn fans here. That's right. I give better coffee than Scott Adams, as far as I can tell. Where were we? Grifters and Shills. Right. Okay, so I posed to you guys the question to help, because, speaking how Bubbles was the reality mirror for us all. And by the way, if anybody wants to be on and to talk about these things, we can do that. But meanwhile, I have this story I'm going to tell you. But first, I'll ask the question. Please help me. Before, I'll tell you the story, and then consider me telling you the story as part of the thing, because there's links below where you can help. And then as I tell you the story, please help me determine if I'm busking because I'm so entertaining, I'm begging because alms, bro, or I'm grifting because why would I do that? And then, or I'm shilling the hoodie. Am I a hoodie shiller? What? help me see myself better, and I'll tell you the story what happened yesterday. Oh, Lynn, good to see you. Okay, so this is I'm cognitive outsourcing to you guys. What am I really to you first, and then also here's a story. I started doing it. I had seen Stoltman and Jelaine had pushed Stoltman into doing the buy me a coffee thing, and I saw it. I was like, fine, because like some people like to help just the one time, and that's of the two sites, that one's like less confusing. So I was like, all right, we'll set that up, and I set that up, and somebody starts being suspiciously generous, and then this guy Keck comes on the Sunday service stream, and I'm gonna have to dig that up. So I need to here, watch some more of Chad's new drop or new drop.
This here is very tasty. Dude, holy crap. You don't know how to read, do you? Okay. For example, this here is a very tasty double cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Damn thing looks like it would choke a horse. Then you say, good golly, Chad, that's clearly a pizza. You must have grown up under power lines or been dropped on your head as a baby or something. Also, horses don't eat meat. They're vegetarian. Moron. Yeah, there we go. Great comment, Chad. Thanks for playing. Now, the idea here is to provide a safe, unsafe space so as you don't have to practice your debauchery in the real world. In other words, if you're feeling the itch to practice your debauchery in the real world.
Excessive indulgence in sensual pleasures.
In other words, if you're feeling the itch to scratch off someone's face, simply come here and scratch off the keys on your keyboard. Or swipe a trench in the screen of your so-called smartphone. Thanks again. No. Thanks again for stopping by. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Perfect. So no, I'm not positive which. And see, poisonally, I like the voice in my head says, if you weren't a failure, that in the Discord, anytime a character came on the scene, we would have like a little bio post, right, with a picture and then the subsequent links of their appearances underneath them, so we could track them like we were stalkers, or just a convenient place for the stalkers to track their favorite. Anyway, I'm not sure which Sunday service the guy appeared on. Let's assume it's the Beggars and Fountain one, and then look again if I'm wrong.
Some pasta.
Aha! So this is the guy I call Sleeper Cell Shane. I'll just run a couple minutes of it and what? What'd you say, Paul? Hey, Pastor Paul. Yes, I'm not a positive witch.
People got different versions of the original content. It was part of the strategy, basically to
You're experimenting on us.
Well, it was sort of like not being ready. So a plan had to be devised in terms of how to walk away and then be able to come back and bring everybody together in a big participation. And there was like this huge group effort. It just popped up. It was very clearly people who had been working on something for quite some time. And they approached me.
Hey, everybody, special appearance by Buddy the Cat, who apparently is going to want out now. Chad asks, where is the link to join? I'm gonna get through the story of what happened yesterday, Chad, and then people can come in. I don't think so, and I was very offended by him coming on my stream wearing a God's name.
to start going over some stuff. And I mean, this went on for like a week or two out of a comment section. And all these people were coming in and they were doing like psych evaluations, and they were asking me to leave platform and go check out some other stuff. But
so strangers from the internet are asking you to do things that include leaving platforms and being evaluated. No.
Yeah.
You are, of course, welcome and encouraged to go to the Beggars and Fountains live stream and see the whole thing for yourself. But if you're following the story, we're at the part where there's mysterious funds, like suspicious amount of funding coming into my Buy Me a Coffee, and mysterious people appearing on my live stream. I'm also getting mysterious emails. I connect the two, and they don't, like, at the end of this, Keck says I can call him Shane. The emails are from a guy named Shane. He's like, hey, why don't you come up to this place? Okay. Well, first it's like, are you going to be at the place? And I'm like, if you're not talking about the place across the street from the White Buffalo, or across the street from Friendship here in town, called the White Buffalo, I don't know where to go. He's like, I'm not surprised you missed the clues. Here's the place. And I'm like, all right, I got to do it next week. And then we push it back to this week. And so I figure it's an assassination attempt. And I cram out all that content the day before, yesterday. And then I go on the assassination attempt. But I need a minute, so...
Ready, let's begin. Wow, Captain Picard looks stunning in this tunic. This here Ford Bronco looks rugged. I bet it can swim some pretty far distances. This here photo of the Amazon makes me feel all warm inside. I bet it's hot as a bitch there this time of year. This orange is a vegetable. Blue skies for miles, my guess. It's at sea level. I didn't see the timing of that was wrong. Let me try that again. Blue skies for miles. My guess? It's at sea level. No, it's better. Remember that song, 94 Hate Balloons? This photo is a historical inspiration for that movie. Square peg, round hole? Nah, definitely a cubicle. I mean, look at that guy work. People have been known to use this time machine to...
Thanks, Jed. Thanks for the coverage. Now, so we got this guy. Wait, go back. So this Sleeper Cell Shane fella here, and I think he's emailing me. We've arranged to meet for coffee in the place called Norman, which is the college town for OU here in Oklahoma. It's not the Oklahoma City, but it's like half an hour. So for me, it's up to the city. And normally I would not have the privilege and whatnot to afford such a thing. However, since there's been this bonus in the coffee budget, I am able to make a random trip to meet an internet weirdo. And if you are going to be General Griswold Gaius Grim of the LARP Ingression, you have to meet weirdos. Now, the thing is, normally I don't feel wonky about it, because usually it's somebody I've spoken with before, at least once on Zoom, and I don't know if this stream counts, you know? And so but I'm terribly intrigued because the bait is perfect. I don't know. You have to have a certain familiarity with a lot of breathed together conspiratorial terms to understand how perfect the bait is. Okay, but do understand that there's a storified version of myself in the head that I'm on a Gandalf arc at the gray portion, and yes, that means facing a Balrog soon. I know, and So the debate is so perfect because David Lynch got me when I was a kid in the 80s when Twin Peaks came out with the log lady who said the owls are not what they seem. So for the rest of my life, the owls will never be what they seem. I don't know what they are, but I know it's not what they seem. And they breathe together, folks. Excuse me. Now, rest his soul. We all know Harvard is evil for what the MK Ultra did to Kaczynski and Jordan Peterson. But there's also this other fancy school they call Yale, which has a notorious reputation for making presidents and doing a weird sex cult thing called Skull and Bones, where apparently you lay as it's a cookie of a circle jerk, but you have to lay in a coffin. Anyway, so this Skull and Bones makes presidents, and they're famous for the number 322, right? This coffee shop, this coffee shop, is the Gray Owl Coffee Shop at 223, which is the inversion of 322, on Gray Street in Norman, which is, you know, the guy from Psycho. So, all right, let's go. And I go, and now back there you'll see my beloved Nexus 6. And I have tweeted to Lex Friedman, dude, how do I get all the things this beautiful circuit board has experienced into a new device? And he ignored me. But it's with me, and it's old, and it's gotten to the point where about 30 to 40% battery. If I ask it to do something and it's too much, it says, and just turns off. And so I was considering purchasing a separate device because we need to make a Lobs to Monkey Lighthouse channel. And I was like, well, I need a new email. We'll get a phone for a work phone, and then we'll associate that email with the new channel, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm already considering getting a work device. And I say, navigate to blah, 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 blah. He's like, nope, and shuts down. And so, oh boy. Rather than stay on the freeway, which a normal person would do, and just find your way to get a phone up in Norman, where, like, at the Walmart, 3 blocks from this mysterious coffee shop. Rather than that, I pull off the first not free exit and say maybe there's a cell place in one of these small towns where I can pick up a device that's the work phone and I can tell it to navigate to yada yada. And I'm driving through, and one is called Fletcher and one is called Sterling, and I'm like, oh, that's like metaphoric where you would get bow and arrow weaponry and stuff. And this is all triggering especially to me because, as you all know, one of the times me and Pajot exchanged a friendly tweet exchange was after Truth Stream Media featured my tweet in one of their videos. And in the background, there was this mysterious statue. And I asked Pajot, what is this statue? And he said, that's Athena. And like that's the extent of the symbolic interpretation he was fit to give me, mind you. But so Athena's a prime trigger, okay? And on the way, I'm listening to this AM radio station. The story behind that's available on my SoundCloud. And they say in the news that some girl has gone missing named Athena. And so I get all emotional about it, and I tweet, pray for Athena. And because it ties in. And so, like, this place is Sterling and Fletcher, and I'm getting a new weapon, but no, they don't have cell phone places. So, like, I'll just go to the city, and I give up this pursuit of weaponry in these places, and I turn and I go through this place, and the place is called Verdun, and I think Verdun is like green, and then I think super green, and then I see there's like these 2 cop cars over there talking. And one pulls out behind me, and I'm like, I'm on cruise control at the speed limit. I'm fine. And it turns out, okay, well, so he pulls me over. And then I I guess, I don't know, I need some more. I gotta go pace now. Chad!
People have been known to use this time machine to travel to Walmart, where they practice zoology. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by and playing How's My Troll Game? Your facts are lame. Thank you for your time and attention. And don't forget, if you're feeling like being a jackass, just come over here and use my comment section. I don't mind.
Chad! Well, oh, God. Here, treat depression with diet real quick, guys.
And I was ecstatic, and then I went off of my medication too quickly. I just stopped taking them. I was like, I stopped taking the immune suppressants. I stopped taking the pills I was taking at night for pain. I stopped taking everything. Stopped taking Adderall for fatigue, and all that was fine. And then I stopped taking the SSRI, and like my entire life fell apart again. And I was like, how is this possible? So you looking into why this works is extremely interesting, because I don't think anyone, well, how about instead of that, what have you found out about why the ketogenic?
All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, so should I do a recap? Should I play some branding? I should play some branding. Oh, that was a smooth transition there, Grim. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, so to recap to anybody just joining, what happened was there's this weird fella. Share this tab instead. And then actually share it. Okay, there's this guy I'm going to meet at the mysterious Owl Coffee Shop. My device declines to navigate there. And I get sidetracked, and I come to this place, and I say super green, and the cops pull out behind me. Now, in the state of Oklahoma, I don't know, I want to have something there. I like this view. Why don't you, okay, do this. Watch, what? Dude. There you go, and then boom. Perfect. Okay, now, Goose, this guy is available on a hoodie. It's very expensive, but it gets you into Shadow Cabal. The link's below. They pull out behind me, and it turns. Okay, so in the state of Oklahoma, when you get the car, you have to take your insurance to the place and pay them like whatever. If it's a new car, it's $500. If it's an old car, it's $50. They call it the tag license. And then you go to the tag office, and they give you a sticker. And you get the sticker, and then they send you a piece of mail to tell you when you get a new sticker. And if somehow, like, what happens is you get the piece of mail, you go get the sticker, you put the sticker on, and you forget about it until you get another piece of mail. There was a key point in that process where, like, somewhere between getting the thing in the mail and getting the sticker, that there was some terrible fault neglect on my own part, and there was no sticker on the back of my vehicle, and apparently the sticker I had became the bad sticker in June, which is a long time. And I don't go a lot of places, but I do drive to the convenience store and to the Walmart quite frequently, and I've made trips across the state of Oklahoma, like repeatedly in the interim since June. None of this time has anybody complained about my sticker. However, on this day, after Buddy Boy and the other guy who were talking together see this car with the bad sticker, they pull me over. Now, it may to know the insides of the situation for me. It might be important for everyone here to know that I've when I realized that the voice recognition technology was going to replace my career as a medical transcriptionist, I, for some reason, didn't see that the paralegal career was the next one going to be infiltrated, and thought I could do that, and went to school for that for a while. So I'm not unfamiliar with the law, but I have learned that because I've done that, I have to say this is not legal advice all the time. Now, this is not legal advice. Trust me. Trust me. So I'm pulled over, and the guy comes up and he says, "Your tag." I'm like, "My tag?" And he takes my stuff and goes back. Now, when certain medications have side effects that indicate their usage, and I'm on some of those medications, and it's clear because of those side effects that thank you. That's quite the compliment. This is none of this is legal advice. So let me say that I'm displaying physical symptoms associated with crying a lot, because I'm so moved by the plight of the child that's missing. And so there's two, it turns out, and while the first one has my information on the car, or in his car doing his little paperwork and computer research, the other one comes up to the passenger side window. And now, in today's modern age, we have the blessed convenience of that whenever the bad man pulls us over, we can just show him our leash, and it has our insurance information on it. But as if you'll recall, the beloved Nexus 6 was in refusing to work operational status. Now, since the battery wasn't technically out, it would restart and then also die again when I tried to do something. And so I was presently concerned with trying to get the insurance verification to appear, while also digging through the paperwork from the glove box, looking for something resembling a tag letter that told me I should go get it so I could, tag stuff. And the other fella comes to the passenger side window and he knocks. And so I lower it, and I'm speaking to him as I'm leaned over the chair. I'm leaned over the passenger side digging through this paperwork, and he's asking me questions about my medication use, my medical history, and dosage usage. Which, now, when you're leaning over a passenger side of a chair, your neck is elongated. And so, apparently my speech sounded altered. Not that I don't talk funny frequently for no reason anyway. Discrimination. And so he comes around and pulls me out of the car and administers a what sobriety taste. And I think, what happened at that point? Oh, then the other fella comes back. And then the other fella, well, no, they may have had a discussion in between. It's hard and long to tell stories. Eve, I would hold out on the medical side. No. What? You're a horse? Yes, all horses have computers. Welcome, Deep Mo, to your first Virtually Not Alone live stream. Look, it's the bubble. Welcome to the bubble. Everybody in it feels virtually not alone. That's right, that's right. We want what's best for you. Here's the loud one. Cover your ears. Yeah. All right, so what? Clear. Well, Oklahoma long-haired dude, for one thing, right? All he did was like take the pen and like follow the pen with your eyes. Oh, look, I turned it sideways. What part are you following? Are you following the bottom part or the tip like I told you? Okay. You know. So, no, and then, so I guess the second fella who was, like, for descriptive purposes, high in melanin content, goes back and talks to the first fellow who's low in melanin content. And it turns out that one of them was the chief, and I guess the other one was the captain of this place. And to me, that's significant because had either one of them been there alone, it might have been the situation different. But since they had to be there and, for jockey with each other, position and whatnot, essentially, they tell me that in the state of Oklahoma, if it's been since 90 days that you're going without the tag, the car gets impounded. And they make a big deal about impairment in jail. I haven't thought this through enough to storify it yet. So it's just the pieces are just going to come out, and I hope it's manageable for people. There was this part where he's okay. The high melanin content fella. When I was leaned over talking to him, he's asking me about dosage, and he was like, "All right, what did you take?" And I was like, "I've had a total of 2 gummies, this last of which was at 10 a.m. And at this point is like 1 in the afternoon. And it's just side effects what's in my head." And excuse. And so he's like, what are they, like 10 milligrams, 100 milligrams? And I'm like, well, it's a 2,000 milligram bag, and there's 10 in each one. So, and then he just shakes his head like that. And that was prior to the testing. And I should be past the pole. I should be. Okay, so he does a sobriety test. He talks to the other guy, and the other guy comes over, and I'll say it now. It felt like he was trying to do was to get me to accede or assent, whatever to agree with his position that being on the medication at all was driving impaired. Because at some point, he said, like, you can't drive on that. I'm like, people drive on Prozac all the time. But that was one of the earlier comments. So he was primed for that. And he comes and he's making the case that he thinks no matter what, the reaction time is impaired. And I know I'm not in any position to go into the differences between the sativa and indica strains with this man. So, so he goes over that. He makes his case that that's true, that the reaction time is impaired. And I say, I understand why you think that. And he does it again, and I say, I understand. And he starts to do it a third time. And I'm like, what are you going to do? I'm at your mercy here. And here's my favorite part I wish there were body cams for, is he says, yeah, we're the police. We can do what we want, don't you? We can do whatever we want. Don't you know that? I'm not positive he added boy at the end, but I think he might have. So he after the I'm at your mercy thing, what are you gonna do? He talks about taking me down to the hospital for a blood test or whatever. And I don't know. In hindsight, I think it's kind of like a possum helplessness reaction. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Maybe I'm not. No small part of it was like, this is going to be a story. It's it might be Canary Protocol, like, or Martyr Complex, but I was like, do your worst, dude. It was like, it's like the guy was gonna hit me a little with his billy club, and I was like, if you're gonna hit me with your billy club, hit me hard. That was like the feel of it, you know, and but so he says, I say, do whatever you're gonna do. He's like, all right, and they put the cuffs on me and they sit me on the side of the road, and sitting on the side of the road in cuffs, the most prominent sensation is the cold steel of the metal. And I marvel at how, I guess I'm still considering my experience with shock, but like the bliss of being in shock was, I was not at all paranoid anything. It was, this is a, I was all, it was, you know, I was thinking earlier today. I was thinking about it, how somebody tweeted something about like a picture of a door on a door that says this is not the door. That tweet, and how the map doesn't match the terrain. This incident that ended with me sitting, not ended, that is currently at me sitting on the side of the road in handcuffs. That it when gets real. And when things are really happening, that is also when the map does not map is not the terrain. It's like you are not your thoughts. Watch what you're doing because you don't know. There's times when you don't know what you're gonna do, and so I'm sitting there on the side of the road, and since I have this is not legal advice, legal awareness that comes with having to say that. I understand that like there's probably not been precedent enough or what have you set for like these tolerance issues, what's actually unsafe and those sorts of things, and it might be a case and it might be a big case, and like that might be the story. That might be what this turns into, is like a huge case about cannabis legislation. And yay, that's my thoughts at the side of the road sitting in handcuffs is, okay, this might be that. So that's the framework, the orientation from which I'm conducting myself at that point. And the thing comes to take the car, and it's loaded up while I'm sitting there, and I'm like nodding at the guy doing the work of the impound thing. Hey, what's up? You know, and eventually he comes by with the citations I have to sign, and he says, we're good. What I missed, I'll give it I'm in these handcuffs, and I missed the part where he says we're gonna let you off for the what you call it, influence thing, and just do the citation and impound the car and leave me. And so basically he offers me, oh no, okay, so this happened before the do whatever you're gonna do. He explained to me that the options were I could go to jail and the hospital and get the blood drawn and all that, or he would just get the tag and impound the car and leave me on the side of the road. And I don't know, this may have been after the signature issue. Anyway, so I understand that if I sign these citations, I get the benefit of being left on the side of the road instead of going to jail. And I'm like, okay, that's after the signature thing. Right, all right. So it comes to signing the citations to where I'll get left on the side of the road without going to jail. And the citations you sign say, it's a summons you're signing to court that says you'll swear to be in court and deal with what the man just assigned you with. And, was I muted this whole time? I should watch comments better. Sorry. Let's see if any of my mods, like if there's a comment I need to address, put my name in caps in the front. Otherwise, I'll assume you're just commenting and talking to each other. Um, I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not good at telling. Okay, stop. All right, so we're at the point where I need to sign the citations, and that's a dramatic pause spot. So here's some of Pastor Paul Vanderclay, The Lost Inherited Wisdom, Marriage, Child Rearing, Marriage Common Grove, number 4.
Out of business unless they get really creative about their business model, and this is an opportunity for some of them to think about focusing on women who are trying to re-enter. For example, that's an institutional.
I'll be right back.
Response to what I just said. But to your point, also just organize groups of older women who are mentoring and maybe this is a feature of an organization like this that doesn't exist yet, but should, right? So yeah, I'm using the term very generically, just meaning any kind of organized effort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
I remember
no, keep going.
there was I can't remember if it was a proposal or an actual university that was doing it, but there was a group that had the same sort of a mindset of how it would be, and so, or ideally would be for women, and it was a setup where ideally women, as soon as they got pregnant, they could exit the workforce, engage in motherhood, and then there would be a plan for reentry, but a gradual plan, so that when the children were young, maybe they're doing some retraining, because most women don't want to be at home 24/7. There's the odd like homeschool fanatic mom who's just like me and my babies all day long, but most women get kind of depressed if they're alone with their kids all day and they don't actually want to be there.
That's not how it's supposed to be, though. They're supposed to be all doing my laundry together at the same time. At the same time. Okay. All right, so we're at the part where I need to sign these citations, these summonses. They're summonses. They say, I will appear in court on February 6th to deal with this. And now, there's just one, like, there's lots of parts in my consciousness Congress is fighting for the light, stage. And one of them is like, okay, you're agreeing to come back to this place, which is an hour and a half by car from where you live, but you no longer have a car to do it. There is no way you can agree that you can make it. You can't bind yourself to, there's no way you can make it, so why would you bind yourself to your agreement? And then there's another part of my mind that's like, they are implying that you're too impaired to drive and asking you to sign legal documents. So your stance is that if I'm too impaired to drive, then I'm too impaired to sign legal documents. And we'll see what happens with that in court. This is not legal advice. And so I refused to sign them. And the shock and amazement with the choice not to sign them convinced them even further that I was impaired, because as they explained to me, as they tried to convince me repeatedly to sign them, that what will happen was, rather than being left on the side of the road without a way to do it, I'd be left on the side of the road after 3 days in jail. He even mentioned there'd be no medicine or nicotine there. And I said, well, maybe I'll be able to get over tobacco as a response to the threat of jail time. So I refused to sign these documents, and they spend a good 10 minutes trying to convince me to do so. And I think he got as far as the open door. I was definitely 2 feet from the cop car door. But at some point there, they made it clear that, like, I was not signing anything related to being impaired. And the thought of Sylvia being in the house with no one to feed her was a thing. So they made it clear that the part I missed about signing any citation related to impairment was involved. And I thought of Sylvia. I said, all right, whatever, I'll sign them. And they took me over to sign them. And as I had the pen in my hand, and as I go to sign them, the most profound feeling I have is that I have to write the other guy's name. The name of my legal fiction. And it felt so weird writing it. So weird. And then they dumped me on the side of the road. The light melanin fella asked the dark melanin fella to escort me across the highway because they've told me I can use the convenience store when they had previously told me to go call a friend. I'm like, I'm from the internet. I don't have any friends. And he's like, well, call someone. I'm like, so he escorts me across the street, and I say, what's your name? And I get his name. He's the chief. And I said, I'm going to tell him you told me I could use their bathroom. And he's like, all right. And then I guess I'm stranded at a gas station is a good part to run some more clip. I don't know that yours is holding the audience, though, there, Pastor Paul. So I'm going to find something on the Friday Morning Nameless.
So much talk about this over the last
from minute 3-ish.
He was one of the
Hope I don't get copyright strike for running Chad. But here.
eminent Christian apologists in the world.
Oh no, not court in Romania. They're corruption free, as we all know. They put me in jail. I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this.
You think he God, bro? This is fucked up, bro. This is fucked up, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel some type of way about this shit, bro, because I didn't mind the fucking toxic side of it to get the views, the little clickbait shit they snip, the goddamn highlight Tatum like a little misogynistic man or whatever, bro. Like whatever, like that's what gets the views. Like he knows how to get the clicks, right? But to me, Tate was always represented, and it's still that way because, like, bruh. Let me gather my thoughts. It's fucked up because I believe that Tate did so much positive for men who needed to hear things from a representation of masculinity. But now, like, all the positive work, all the positive influence that came from this man is gonna be, it's tarnished, it's in question. I got an asterisk next to it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put out so much fucking dope ass shit to inspire and motivate men, but then now, since he's a messenger and he pretty much represented a total contradiction of what he put out for the world to see, it's like, fuck, dog. Like, ain't nobody gonna take your ass serious now. You know what I mean? It is gonna cause like a extra attack on masculinity now, man. Remember last time we had somebody out here trying to inspire men, get them fucking motivated, all the while behind closed doors, this motherfucker, he's running a whole organized crime organization. And the fact that he thought he can get away with this, bro, like, he really think he untouchable, bro. Damn, man, just like that, bro.
This week, Ravi Zacharias International Ministries officially released the full and final investigative report into the sexual misconduct allegations against Ravi Zacharias.
That particular word love is probably one of the most used and most abused epithets that mankind has ever conceived in his mind. It has brought peace to many a heart, and the same word misunderstood and abused has broken many a life. And as you and I begin to look at this theme, I want particularly to challenge those of you who are in your high school and college days with certain principles that the Bible gives to you that are undeniable if you are to build a successful home.
Get to the transcripts. Okay, so this is how Andrew Tate apparently manipulates one of the victims into flying to Romania by promising marriage. Then discusses said victim as a commodity to be used for making money. Andrew Tate says, you have to understand once you're mine, might be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man, and I'll be the last man in your life. What do we do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to bring you to Bucharest? And then the girl will put
knowledge, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that fear, I mean, sometimes it can be, afraid. Sometimes it can be reverent awe, but you
We're
fundamentally
missing a
in
premiere
that is
now.
recognizing
I'm stepping on Lowry
the
again.
asymmetry of the relationship from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And many religious traditions get that. But it is tremendously difficult to maintain it. You need a religious tradition because obviously you really can't live on nothingness. And even once you say, well, I live on nothingness, well, there's your dogma. I mean,
There's my dogma. I was looking for my dogma. Thanks, Pastor Paul. Thank you, sir. All right, I gotta get back to this story. I'm sorry I'm stepping on you, Larry. I didn't think it'd run this long. All right, so there I am in cuffs, and then they put me across this. This was, you could have seen this. You could. It looked like this. It looked like this, but it was on the side of the road. Anyway, so to recap, the car gets impounded because of the tags, and I'm at this convenience store. I call it's Happy Birthday Crystal in my head now, because the sign said Happy 29th Birthday Crystal, and I don't know. I guess the morning staff girls are there when I get there, and they explain to Crystal when she shows up later my situation. I'm emailing this Shane guy, and the first email is like, well, as you recall, the good old Nexus 6 over there is intermittently working as it's charged. And the only charging devices I had, and the only tobacco I had, and the only whatever I had is in the console of the car, now impounded, as I'll later learn, at Never Scared in Anadarko, despite wherever I got the car taken. And so first thing, I buy a pack of cigarettes and a phone charger, because she'll charge, but her hole has been loosened from so much plugging over and over that in order for her to be charged, it has to be on a drip charger stand like that, which works over 30% or more. If it's less than that, you have to do the pluggy thing, or the pluggy thing, which is such a very delicate balancing of, oh my God, it's charging, please don't touch it, and then maybe. So I'm doing that. This, oh my God, charging, what, maybe. On an ice cream machine in a convenience store, after having the car impounded, on my way to meet Sleeper Cell why did I make it a tongue twister? Sleeper Cell Shane at the Gray Owl Coffee Place in Norman, Oklahoma. So I email him, and I'm like, dude, I came to see you. The universe said hard no. That's clearly a hard no. He's like, it just looks like an interrupt to me. I don't understand. And so, but like, never talk to me again was the gist of the first email I sent. I text Magic, who, as you might know, received the first ever Goose hoodie, is the matriarch of the chat and Shadow Cabal, and is an elderly lady in Seminole, Oklahoma, with no car. And I let her know that it was impounded. I let some other people know who couldn't. People I knew that knew I was on this trip and couldn't do anything, I let know what happened. I didn't reach out to any of the familial bonds because, like, the trust shattered of them being aware of this event goes much better if it happens after the event is completely resolved. If I can resolve it before they find out, it's better. That's the best way for them to find out, you know? That's just the way things work with the trust fund. And so I have Like there used to be a guy that lived next door that I talked to all the time, and I'd give him rides and stuff. And they've moved away to a different part of town like 6 months ago, and so there's intermittent contact with him. I don't reach out to him first. First, I reach out to the radio station guy I ran into last week because, frankly, the lady at the office seemed the type that would get him, like would be happy to have the drama of the situation to be excited about, and would push him to come get me. But that did not pan out, and was kind of embarrassing. But it's good. He plays organ at a Methodist church, and I might go lean into that and push paintball as time progresses. What is the body language of pulling your own left ear? Are you lying to yourself when you do that? Oh, so yeah, but this really, how the story isn't moving forward and nothing's happening. That's much like what it was at the convenience store. They have a television set with a Roku hooked up to it that isn't playing anything for like the first 6 hours I'm there. Just the splash screen of the Roku right above the ice cream machine, upon which I repeatedly am charging for intermittent. Because if I left it alone and let it charge, but no, I've just been. I'm like, I can't leave it alone because it's in a convenience store, so I take it with me when I pace and smoke, and I got to do it all again. And I don't think it held its charge over 30% until after the ride was on its way. And the ride wasn't on its way until after 5 because I was trying other methods. The ride ended up being the matriarch of the Shadow Cabal, who contacted another woman in her senior village who can drive, and they came and drove me home and then crashed and are on their way back to Seminole, Oklahoma this morning. After sticking around with me while I determined what how bad the damage was and whether or not it could be resolved this morning. And the damage is $300 or so in fines to get the vehicle release form from Never Scared in Anadarko, who's charging me a recurring $19 a day until I do. And I don't know, whatever gas money thanks I can give to the Shadow Matriarchy. So does me coming on the internet telling you this story make me a beggar, a busker, a grifter, or a shill? As the question before the story was posed to everyone, I'll let you ponder it as you see the suggestion to please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It all helps. You notice how people are saying it helps the algorithm? How many humans are doing things specifically to help the algorithm, like knowingly? That's the purpose they stated. Isn't that weird? So I'm gonna have to put the headphones on to bring the rest of you in. I will do so. I cannot sticky this from where I'm sitting without jumping. There? Does that? But I'm gonna run something. Some more of the premiere you're missing by being here. Sorry, Ken.
Of all of these things, because your life is hidden. What you can really share with people is you. That's the most real thing you have to share with them. And you're going to have ideas and abstractions. I also often note that, obviously in Christian circles, let's say you look at the Apostle Paul. If the Apostle Paul was walking around today, what opinions would he have about all sorts of things? The truth is they'd be all over the map. And perhaps some of the people who count themselves the greatest followers of of the teachings and writings of the Apostle Paul, he might hate their guts. They're just living in totally different realms because we take these things, we have to abstract them, we have to build models, we have to build systems. None of that is bad or wrong or anything, but there's an unrealness about it that is, you are more real than that. And so what you should actually share is you to the best you can. It's remarkably difficult. Because even just look at Jesus. He spends 3 years. And one of the things, so when I was in college, you know, I grew up in a minister's home, went to college, went to a Christian college, but
When he says, so I was in college, it's time to tune back to the show. Hey, Chad, how's it going there?
It's going, man. Getting ready to head out and go help a dude put some tile in his living room because he screwed it up. So I have the day off.
You do instructional tiling videos on a separate channel?
I was asked to, actually. But I haven't gotten to that because I'm fucking erratic. Hey, look at that guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Big PVK, live in the house on the Beggars, Buskers, Grifters, and Shills stream. Which of those are you representing here today, Pastor Paul?
Well, I just made a contribution to your fund for the release of your car.
Thank you very much. That's whoo doggy.
I'm terribly sorry to hear this story.
I don't know, man. Like you know, when it starts, when the car pulls you over, and you pull over, and he's behind you, you're like, all right, is this God preventing me from getting assassinated at the Gray Owl? Is this the manifestation of all the prayers of protections of the people I told I was going to meet this stranger on the internet? Is God, you want protection, boy? Here you go. And because like the last thing the cop said, you probably got off the weed, boy. But you know.
So is it God or is it odd? Both.
Right. What force? What principality is at play in this force of events? You know.
Maybe since you've helped the algorithm so much, the algorithm, has decided to help you back.
Well, that would be nice to get up over 1,000, so you can get some of that sweet YouTube Premium money into your account.
I don't know, man. I'm sincere when I say I think the channel's gonna go down on review.
Really?
But yes, there's from the truther stuff that I made that's mostly unlisted now, or actually it's mostly private now. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix what microphone is being used.
That's much
changed
better.
when people came in. Yeah, there's stuff in there that if I don't take it out before they look, I think they might pull for. But we'll see, because I don't think I'll have it out. Well, I don't know. The mysterious rise seems to have tapered off. So I might just hover at 950 for the foreseeable future.
Oh, well, I don't know.
So no, Beggar, Busker, like let's get to the topic of the title because I like to deliver. After, is Al related to the Al from Quantum Leaps? Yes. Quantum Leap is intimately tied into my formative development, so Al is always involved. God rest Dean Stockwell.
I like Al from Tool Time. Just saying.
I also want to get into your topic from the title, though, Grizz, because I am considering, I've had patrons who have not received a blessed thing for 4 years. And so I'm considering adding some tiers on Patreon and some special things for tiers. But I am very concerned about these issues that you're raising. And I plan on always keeping a free section so that people don't have to pay to talk to me, because I think that's absolutely vital. But I also know that the free section is clogged and people can't get rando slots. And so a pay section for people that have the money doesn't seem a bad thing. So I don't know what to do with that.
The first, I'd say if the patrons bringing in enough money, that you use that to hire somebody to help you properly administer patron benefits. That's the thing. The bureaucracy has to pay for itself.
Yeah.
But I want to get into the topic from a defense against the dark arts angle. That's why I brought it up, because the way John said grifter twice after talking to me when he talked to you. When like you work with the concept of people's first drafts. Chad, if you're gonna add, I'll bring you back. And people's first draft of like why anybody would have a YouTube channel is their own. Why would I have a YouTube channel? And if they come in thinking that's all that's here, they will be subject to the latter two of the title, the Grifters and Shills. There's not prepped for that. And so what's the difference to you between a beggar and a grifter and a shill and a busker? We can throw the buskers as those people who are performing and begging that their performance is worthy of your contribution.
Yeah.
Let's knock buskers out, and then help us differentiate the other three.
Well, if for example, the story you just told us, which was a great story, and it was well told, even with the interruptions that needed to have.
Sorry.
And all the distractions, which I absolutely love. If that story is total bullshit, that you just made that up for us to be here on this channel, then you're a grifter. And then I lose respect for you. But I don't believe that. I believe that this story is totally you. And this, I completely believe the story. And so I didn't mind clicking on that little coffee thing and buying you some coffees. Because number one, I like both your names, but I want to be there to support you. And I don't think it's an illegitimate thing for the community to express their love and commitment in the financial form. That's foundational for church work. And one church planter friend of mine always said, if Jesus isn't in your wallet, then he's not in your heart. And that's basically a riff on something Jesus said. So I don't think it's a bad thing to monetize and for you to aspire to use YouTube to make a living, because I think you're a terrific YouTuber. And I think you're very much, you're using YouTube for its purpose far better than Mr. Beast. And I think you should be able to derive a living from it. And if you derived a very healthy, fat living from it, I wouldn't complain.
Well, I gotta say, we have the official first government documentation that I am a YouTuber. Because when they ask you what are you doing, I'm like, I'm going to a coffee shop to meet a guy from the internet. And what's the meeting about? Like, it's a weird internet thing. And I don't know. There was a back and forth about what it was for a second, but it ended when I told the guy, I said, I'm not going to explain YouTube. I can't explain YouTube LARPing to you in this context. This is not the time or the place for me to explain. But like for me in my head, it's easiest to hold the difference between a beggar and a grifter by holding them together. Whereas, because we've all heard the story to discourage us from giving to beggars, about the rich person who dresses up as a beggar and goes and collects however much panhandling, and then like goes and gets in their car and drives home. Like that's a, I don't know, urban myth, as they'd call it, about, or people actually do it all the time. The ones I think asking for gas money are very suspicious. But it's like some are begging as a grift. And I don't know.
I don't
I
think
like
begging
to.
is wrong, and I don't think begging is bad. I do think people have to think about how they relate to beggars. I relate to beggars all the time. And I think people have to think that through. There are some beggars I give money to, not small amounts of money. And most beggars I pass by. Because for me, if the begging isn't an invitation to a relationship on both sides, it probably isn't as good as it can be.
I think of it as a job. First, because it's something that, like, in Dungeons and Dragons, the Thieves Guild will employ beggars, and I think arrangements like that probably happen in real life too, probably more violently and whatever than we want to think about. But we're in this YouTube environment. We How do you think we should treat people who are obvious shills and grifters? Because they have channels and audiences as well.
Yeah. Obvious is hard on the internet. Like Jordan Peterson, is he a grifter? Is he a shill?
Are you asking? No, these are rhetorical questions he's asking me. That's why I'm not responding. Chad, did you have something you unmuted?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say like, well, I think Peterson is a model in many ways on what to do. So whether that lands in shill, grifter, or beggar, I don't think he's a beggar. I would say I'm more of a beggar. I beg for a lot of attention, and I try to work on that. But yeah, I'll mute back up. Sorry.
You're the real deal, Chad. You are the real deal, and that's why we love you.
You really helped me break the fourth wall. That, like, it's just people. Like, some of them go to Daily Wire and get really fancy production values, but they're still just the same person that was crying behind their desktop monitor. So,
which is exactly part of the reason I still follow Peterson. And people, say, "Well, I love Jordan Peterson, but how he is on Twitter." Jordan Peterson is who he is on Twitter too. It's all part of the package.
I tried to help him, but I think, I'm curious whether the Shadow Cabal would approve me paying the $8 ransom to be considered a person on Twitter, and whether or not how bad that is, whether or not that would even undo the shadow banning. That if I pay the ransom, will they unshadow ban me, or is that a separate fee? I don't know.
I think the questions are great. And actually, with John, I don't remember if this was on the video or not on the video. No, I think it was after there's always these little after talks with a lot of these conversations with some people. And sometimes the after talks are even better. And it's really a shame they didn't get recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But, so John and I talked about, I said to John, we need to keep thinking about this financial aspect of this little corner. And I'm challenged on this regularly by Rod Hare, who continues to encourage me to not have some of my own baggage about money on this. And because it's really complex. And so, for example, John Vervaeke established a foundation so that a lot of the money that comes to him can be channeled to other people too, and that he will just get a percentage of it. That's very, that shows a lot of integrity, and that tells me a lot about John Vervaeke.
Not only does it show integrity and tell you a lot about him, it also offers a contrast to what professors from the internet who become successful on YouTube might do as an option.
But I don't know that Peterson's completely wrong with his approach either.
Wrong? No, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing.
this morning on Twitter, I posted a couple of things, Joe Rogan and Billy Burr conversations, where on one hand, Joe Rogan is just excoriating Joel Osteen for his wealth and behavior. And, part of me, that's low-hanging fruit. I totally get that. On the other hand, there is always a financial aspect to this. And if it's not managed properly, you either wind up with, the yoga teacher, Bikram yoga guy, or you wind up with the stacks of fat cash that medieval monasteries built up, which partly caused the demise of the monasteries in the Protestant Reformation, because everyone knew they were corrupt. Even though the monks all had taken vows of poverty, and even though the monasteries had all that money, it still corrupted them. So this stuff is really tricky.
Yeah, the word that the monasteries ever became dens of debauchery, that was news to me. I was fascinated to hear that. I want to get to that. People are coming in with their first drafts of like I think I would start a YouTube channel so that I could become successful and start selling commercials for YouTube. So, and that's all they're coming in with. And they're going to encounter grifters and shills. And I think it's, maybe part of my LARP, part of my grift. But I think that our community is, whatever it is, the level it's gotten to is subject to people with objectives that aren't, like when I say shills are people selling something, there's also, I think, in our area, people with objectives that are there as as a vocation, are here on at work, are participating in the corner as part of their career, and that's not a shill, but it's somebody with an objective, and I think those are here also, and I at least wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of those categories if they've been around me. That this is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
You might go meet some guy to get assassinated, have your car impounded because you met them on the internet. It's
the profiling police are God's guardian angels for Grim Grizz.
It might be super green. But like, especially because of lockdown, people that weren't subject to internet grifters and shills became subject to internet grifters and shills.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I ever got from the audience an official what am I out of the 4 categories. Chad, are you back?
I am. Well, Chris, you're
yes,
general.
yes.
Yeah. I'm back. You hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
Yeah, you're the general, man. It doesn't. If you were one of the categories that you're describing, and it was like a nefarious thing, we just wouldn't pay attention. I think a lot of people will end up voting with their feet, so to speak.
They do. There's a trickle both ways. There's always a trickle down, and then sometimes the wave rides over it for a long time, and I don't see it. So it's true. True.
Yep. The churn is very real in YouTube.
I already told you way back, you're a busking, grifting, shill, LARPer, accidental tourist. I'll have to examine that last part. All right, I want to thank Paul and PVK for coming in and helping me closing out this stream. This is way longer than I go. If you want to help me get a car back out of impound from Anadarko,
fix your link.
It's broke.
The link on top takes you to sign up to receive money from it.
Oh no!
Comments is the proper one to be able to give you money.
Son of a!
I signed up for buy me a coffee when I tried to give you money. I thought this is the height of the irony for this program.
Oh no! Oh, somebody give the fresh link. That's what the mods are for, right? No, I can't. I have to go. I'm closing it out anyway. I'll put it. It should be in the description. The rest will be gone. Thanks, Chad.
See ya,
You're
man.
shutting her down, bro.
Bye.
Oh, I didn't. It's good. It's good.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
He said bye.
Do I have anything else I'd like to say?
In conclusion.
Grift on, bitches.
Grift on. Thank you, Chad. It's a shame and a privilege that Pastor Paul Van der Clay missed that conclusion part. Thanks, everybody. I'll fix the link or something. The good link's in the description. Maybe whatever. I have to read all this. Yes, I am. That's my holy quest. Honestly, I want that. Actually, I'm not. It's not a thing. I really want it. There's the good link. Thanks, Pastor Paul. And here's the theme song from me and Nolan one more time. No, oh, there. What the hell? What in the damn hell? Why are you here?
I'm chewing. Hold on. I just wanted to say I'm glad you're alive.
Oh. Well,
But
thank
you
you.
caught me mid-chew.
Well, you came on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you not see I was closing the stream? But anyway, it's good to see you. Thank you for mid-chew. And I'm glad to be alive.
Yeah.
I'm still ending the stream though.
That's good.
So I'm still ending the stream. Bye everybody.